Is it possible that something that Mother Nature's been doing for us since her inception has been messed with by modern day conveniences? And therefore, we haven't been getting the bounty and the benefits of it. Well, there's something out there that we haven't been utilizing to its fullest capacity. And what has happened? We've had an increase in dis-ease, high anxiety. Could it be that something that Mother Nature really was intended to do for us has been blocked because of modern day inventions? Could it be that those things that Mother Nature does for us, we're not receiving the benefits of? Well, I'm going to let you be the judge of that, because today we're going to talk about nature's secret that could change your health. Over 28 years ago, a discovery was made by Clint Ober that really started opening up some questions as to, have we been overlooking something that has been in front of us forever, but yet because of modern innovations, we have blocked the ability to receive it? When you look at Clint Ober's life, you see that he was really being guided and led to have experiences that would help open up his understanding and his curiosity to something that you and I can benefit from today. He was one of the major pioneers in bringing it to the forefront and bringing scientific evidence to something that can help us. And what's so cool? It's for free. Clint Ober was raised in Montana. So he was in farmland, he was in the ground, he spent a lot of time running around in the dirt, and he was right next to the Indian reservation. He had a really good friend, and he said one day they came home from school and he went to his friend's teepee, and they were about to go in, and his friend's mother said, "Take off those shoes, they'll make you sick." And he thought, oh, that's kind of an odd thing that she would say, but he took off his shoes and left them outside, thinking, well, maybe she just doesn't want dirt or germs inside the teepee. And it just kind of filed it away as something that she had said. But then he told the story of his friend's sister that had contracted scarlet fever. They didn't think she was going to live. And then he watched as his friend's grandfather dug a big pit in the dirt and then set the granddaughter in there and covered her with dirt. And then he had a big bonfire going and he sat there next to her for 2 days. After 2 days, she got up and she was fine. Now I thought, that is the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. But yet he just filed it away in the information and the experiences that he'd had in his life. And he didn't really recall it until in 1998, he made a discovery. But prior to that, he had been working with television reception and knew that every television needed to be grounded. Anything electronic needs to be grounded. Now, one of the reasons the TV needed to be grounded, if it wasn't grounded, there was lots of static on it. And as soon as it was grounded, the frequencies flowed and you got a clearer picture. Also, if it wasn't grounded, it interfered with what was going on in like the aircraft, etc. So it was against the law not to have a TV that was grounded. So he understood the principle of grounding electronics. And this information and this knowledge that he had came forth in 1998 when he was traveling and his back was just aching. He had been taking painkillers for the pain. And all of a sudden it hit him. Well, if things with electricity need to be grounded, we as human beings are the most electrical things that are out there. Why do we not need to be grounded? And would we benefit from being grounded? He decided that night to try something. So he ran to the hardware store and he got metal tape and he put it across his bed. And then he attached wires to it and out the window, and the wire was attached to a grounding rod. He put it down in the soil, went to bed. That night, he slept the entire night without having to take any painkillers. When he woke in the morning, he thought, there may be something to this. That's when his curiosity started thinking, and then his experiences in life started teaching him that maybe he was onto something. So he joined up with some other people and they started grounding other people, 10, 20, 30, 50, then thousands of people. What were they finding? They were finding that it reduced their pain when they were grounded. Now, this was just connecting with Mother Earth. Now, they were doing it with grounding rods. They were also having them just put their hands and their feet on the ground and stay connected with Mother Earth, bare skin against Mother Earth. Now, I don't really know how bare that was, but yep, there are those that went bare naked, not together, but not with a group. Their studies started getting the attention now of physicians who at first thought, this is ridiculous. Just connecting with Mother Earth could have the capacity to get rid of pain. So now physicians started joining in and they wanted to see what these findings were, and they were helping with some of these findings. And then one physician came to him and said, you know, this isn't about grounding reduces pain. What you're dealing with is inflammation, because all pain has inflammation. All disease has inflammation. Anything that's going wrong in the body is because of inflammation. Look at that word, inflame. The body's on fire. And what the grounding was doing, it was decreasing inflammation. Now, how does this happen? What does grounding even do? When the body connects to the ground, with either your hands or your feet or your body, your entire body, then electrons saturate the body. In fact, they say that they come into the body so fast, they can't even record it. Now, what does that mean when these electrons come in? Well, the electrons come in and they take care of the free radicals in the body. Now, what's happening is these electrons come in and they encircle the red blood cells. And so the red blood cells can't clump together. What does that do? It thins the blood. The circulation is better. The immune system can get around a lot better. Does that not open your eyes to go, wow, there's some capacity here that maybe we've been leaving on the table? But interesting, as they went back to look at when did Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune diseases, when did diseases start to make a hike in civilization? And it was in 1960. In 1960, there was an amazing, amazing invention that came about. It was the invention of plastics. And aren't we glad that we have plastics today? There's so many things that when we look around, we wouldn't have that or that or that or that without the invention of that plastic. But what was one of the biggest inventions of that time? Sneakers. We all started wearing sneakers. The soles of sneakers were made out of plastics, pliable rubber, and even those big companies that you know of today that continue to sell those. That was when they really took off. And that's when we had kind of a cushioned sole under our feet, but it's also when we became more and more insulated from Mother Earth. So what happened when we no longer had that influx of electrons that were getting rid of the free radicals in our body? What was the health price we were paying? Now, is it a coincidence that all of a sudden there was an influx of disease in our lives? Could there be a correlation? And then when there's more disease and discomfort in our life, there's a use of now of pharmaceuticals and prescriptions, and those were on the rise. As diseases rose, so did the prescriptions and the pharmaceuticals. So what am I saying? Am I saying that grounding can cure diseases? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is, how would you benefit if there was something out there, if you were doing that, if you're connecting to Mother Earth, if we were out there grounding and earthing, would there be a health benefit that we are leaving on the table that is absolutely for free? Well, there are tons of studies out there that give evidence there's a huge benefit of connecting with our Mother Earth. There was a study in a neonatal NICU area, and they found that when these babies are born and are in these incubators, there's a lot of machinery. Now, I know that because our 23-year-old was 1 pound, 10 ounces when we adopted him. And we went into that NICU, There were bells and whistles and noises and ventilators and heart monitors, and it's like a Las Vegas casino. Well, all the frequencies, those machines, when they would test the Vegas tone of those babies, it was just out of whack. And those frequencies were affecting these struggling babies. But they found that when they would put grounding wire on the incubator, that the vagal tone, which is an indicator of the health of that baby, improved 67%. Think about all the electronics that we are surrounded by. Right now, you're probably looking at me with electronics. I'm looking at you with electronics. So we are literally surrounded by electronics all the time. If we were able to see all of the frequencies and vibrations coming from everything, it would almost be matte and not opaque, because we are inundated. So what is the option? How can we combat that? Well, we do know that inflammation is not only just the body, right? It's also the brain. So anything that is affecting us, the electronic interference, can create dis-ease, inflammation in our brain and our body. So one of our ways to combat it is to spend time with our feet, with Mother Nature. Something interesting to see is when you look at matter underneath a microscope, when you look at through human tissue, etc., as you go down into the microscope and you get closer and closer down to the molecule, you get to see that there's these separate cells, and they don't necessarily have glue on them, right? But what keeps them together? Electricity. We are electrical beings, and the electrons are the subatomic particles that carry a negative electric charge. So Mother Earth is a negative charge, and they are fundamental components of that atom that are the building blocks of matter. So electrons, they're responsible for the flow of electricity in materials, and they play a crucial role in chemical reactions. So we have to have them. So free electrons, these are the electrons that are not bound to the atoms, right? There's some that spin around it, but the free electrons aren't bound to them. They're loosely held and they can move freely within materials. So free electrons are abundant in Earth's surface, particularly in the form of negatively charged ions. So when you make direct contact with Earth's surface, such as walking barefoot on the soil, on the grass, on the sand, or even like swimming in the ocean, you create a conductive pathway between your body and the earth. And this allows the transfer of electrons between the body and the earth. So electrons from the earth, which are excess and free to move, can flow into your body. They can make that connection. So it's referred to as absorbing free electrons. They neutralize the potentially harmful, positively charged free radicals in your body. So the free radicals are molecules that unpaired electrons, they cause that oxidative stress and that damage to our cells. So by absorbing free electrons from the earth, it can relieve that oxidative stress and that inflammation in the body. The question is, do we need electrons for energy? Well, the electron transport chain in the mitochondria, when you get down there, it generates ATP, and that's the body energy molecule. ATP is adenosine triphosphate, and it's the energy currency of our cells. And it's how our biology runs. I mean, we're not plugged in. It's those electrons into, and that ATP that's being generated in our cells, that is that internal combustion, the little energy. And it's all about electrical energy transfer. So when we ground, electrons from the earth enter our body and they potentially enhance our energy. Did you know that there are electrical rhythms in the earth and they help set our biological clock? You may be familiar with a circadian rhythm, that there are different times of the day when we do better at certain tasks. If you've never looked at a circadian rhythm clock, look at it. What happens at 3 p.m.? When's the best time for you to do certain work? And that's why it's so hard when someone is doing night shift. They have to shift their circadian rhythm. Well, the Earth's electrical rhythms play a crucial role in regulating our biological clocks. They influence our bodily functions like our sleep patterns, and even our well-being. So can you imagine if we are disconnected, if we are anesthetized, if we are insulated from Mother Earth, she can't do for us what she's capable of doing. Now, in this tech-driven world, we're surrounded by electrical devices, and that can drain our bodies. So grounding may counteract all those negative effects. Now, you might be saying, oh, that's great if I lived on a beach or if I lived by a forest or if I had grass in my yard, but what if that's not something I can go to all the time? Well, that's when they have earthing mats. Earthing mats are a mat that you can plug into your wall socket. There are little $8 adapters that you can actually use to see if your plug is actually grounded correctly. And that's what you want to test first to make sure that your ground on your electrical plug, which should work, but you want to make sure is grounded. Then that grounding mat is plugged into your wall unit and grounded. And it's something that you can put in your bed. You can put it by your feet and have your bare feet on it. If you're one that uses the computer a lot, like right now, you could have the mat at your feet with your bare feet, or it could actually be on your desktop with your hands on it. So there are different ways that we can pull that into us. There's also grounding blankets. There's many different ways that you can bring that grounding force that can bring those electrons into your body. So what has been the cost for us in disconnecting? I have to say that I look at my life. It's easy to roll out of bed, go across plastic-made carpet, get into our cars that have rubber tires, put on my thick-soled rubber sandals, go to an office, have my feet on a laminate floor, and we can literally spend the entire day totally disconnected from Mother Earth. Now, I do like to be out in her, and I'm out there every day walking my dogs, but I haven't really walked barefoot. Many of the areas I go would be painful, but do I take that time then to come back and ground? And what does it look like to ground? It's nothing elaborate. It's literally getting your hands and your feet and your body. But for me, that's my planning time. That's when I take my planner and take off my shoes and have my feet and my free hand in the grass, or I lay down on the grass on my chest with my hands underneath, and I ride out and dream and think and have good intentions during that time when I'm grounding. It could be just one little piece of grass that you find. It could be the dirt. It could be the sand. It could be the ocean. Just spending some time in Mother Earth. How many of you are gardeners? That is grounding because your hands are in the dirt. I had a recent surgery where my body was rejecting any of the pain medications, any of the anti-nausea medications, and especially the anesthesia. And it was like nonstop vomiting for days and days. My body was saying, get this stuff out of me. Well, in desperation, not being able to keep even liquids down, I had this thought, just get to the grass, just get to the grass. So I went out front and I laid down on the grass. I had a cast and a boot on one side with my good hand and my good foot, was laying on my back in the grass. And I was just setting the intention, just take all this away from me. Just get this venom out of my body. So grateful that I didn't have to be awake during the surgery, but now it was time to get rid of it. Mother Nature already does amazing things for us with the carbon dioxide and oxygen exchange that happens. Why would she not be giving us electrons that balance our body chemistry? It's sometimes hard to explain to someone what it does, but there's the science of what it does. And what the invitation is, try it. Just actually go out and try it. But don't try it with this isn't going to work. Try it with, I am open. Be curious. Like, wow, if this could work, that would be amazing. So allow some time to go by and try it and see if your energy doesn't improve, to see if your stress doesn't improve, to see if any health issues start improving. But give it some time and give it an opportunity to have Mother Nature give you what she was intended to give you. But I can tell you, after I had grounded for even just 20 minutes, I felt better. I was able to sip on some electrolytes and actually keep them down. I all of a sudden had some energy. It was like That's exactly what I needed. I needed to be connected to Mother Earth. Mother Earth does so many things for us. And there's science behind what she does for us. As we now start to combine again with Mother Nature, with Mother Earth, we can benefit from those things that she scientifically was meant to do for us. We just accidentally started separating ourselves from her and didn't realize it. But now, thousands and millions are now saying, okay, we've been reawakened to the fact that we need to reconnect. And that's exactly what millions and millions are doing. So I invite you to be part of those millions and millions. And even if you've never done it before, be open, be curious, have fun with it. It's free. And what do you have to lose? What if that little time that you spend with Mother Nature ends up helping you with anxiety, depression, pain, stress? What if indeed? Mother Nature's secret that can help your health. I invite you to take advantage of it. It's free. Thanks for tuning in this week. And as always, we are creators and we create the life we want. I hope Mother Nature will be a part of yours and mine. Till next week, tally ho.